Good morning, everybody. I have a few things to talk about this morning, a couple updates, also a discussion on Dr. Sebi. If I said his name correctly, I hope I said it correctly. I do apologize if I didn't. So this week I'll be working on Relisha Rudd's case. I will be speaking on that. I will be trying a session with her. Obviously, I feel if she doesn't come through for me, then I need to look at the situation and ask myself, is she not coming through because she's not passed? I do feel she's possibly not passed at this given moment. Anything else right now in that case, I'm just leaving at this because I feel like okay, all right, so I'm hearing murder, so either she was murdered, which is a very high possibility, or she hasn't connected with me yet. I know her name was said, like I said it in my last video, Relisha is active. So that's one. Now the second thing, I've been asked numerous times about, I believe the little sweetheart's name is Malie Davis. My dearest friend, she sent me a picture a while back. I got stepfather, uncle in Washington. Now, Washington doesn't mean it's Washington. It could mean a street. It could mean a name. It basically mean anything. Those are the few things that I got from her in the beginning when I looked at her picture. And I shied away from it because it really ripped my heart out. To me, she looks like my granddaughter, and it was very difficult for me to look at her and that beautiful face and that innocent energy that she has. The update on that is, like I said, I've had numerous people ask me to help, and it's just gotten really hard on me to say no. The other day when somebody sent me a picture of her on Facebook, some type of picture of her, other things started to come through. And when I sat there for a bit, I nicknamed her Miss Sassy Pants. She is such a joyful energy. I did not see her in distress. I did not see her. I think she knew I would have a very hard time seeing her with markings and just, I think that's the only way she could show herself to me, is if I could see her the way she was before. That's what was making me stay away from the case. It may sound selfish, and it's not meant to be, but sometimes things are so gut-wrenchingly hard for me to deal with, especially children cases, that sometimes it's so hard for me to cope with mentally that I feel so heartbroken inside for them, and I will stay that way for periods of time. It's very hard on my heart. It's not meant to be selfish. It's meant to be, this is so hard for me mentally to cope with and look at and see every single day. When she showed herself to me, she was speaking with her body language. She has it looks to be, I'm going to say a stuffed animal, but it also could be a toy. She holds like a stuffed animal on her right arm. She holds it to her hip, and she was talking to me, and she had said two things to me. She said, and I'm going to show you how she spoke and showed herself to me. She said, "He scares me." it was like she was trying to talk and be brave at the same time. It was like she was trying to tell me in a way that a child, like my granddaughter, talks the same way. She'll put her hand on her hip and she points her finger. And then the second thing was that was what shocked me, because when I saw this, I thought, wow, this is so much like my granddaughter. She pointed her finger with one hand, and her right arm, she had a teddy bear on her hip, and she said, "My head hurts." And I had gotten such a massive headache after that, and that told me that she's either fallen really bad before and hit her head, or she's been hit in the head. And it really affected me to see her picture, and I've shied away from it, and I've done my hardest, because it's very hard for me to hold it together on camera, especially in children's cases. I have sunglasses on because I'm very sensitive to the light, and when it's sunny out, and it also blocks my tears. So I know it may sound corny to some, and it may sound foolish, but I'm just a very emotional person when it comes to children. And I'm going to do her case, because I feel like if a spirit comes to me and tells me, especially a child, automatically, then they're comfortable with me. They're very comfortable with me, and I need to talk with her, and I need to sit with her. Sometimes when I help spirits go to the other side, children in general, what I'll do is, if they're comfortable with me, I will have them sit on my lap, and I will sit and rock with them and their energy. And it sounds so foolish, I know, but I try to give them the love so they'll trust me, and then I'll sit there and talk with them, and I will try to tell them, it's okay. And I try to tell them that it's okay to go to the other place. It's warm, it's loving, and some of your family's over there, and they're waiting for you. And what I'll do is I will take them by the hand, so to speak, and I will, in so much ways, create a doorway, and I will, so to speak, light the way for them. And it sounds, a lot of people won't understand that, but there are some that will. I light the way for them in general as I open a door for them, and they're so happy to go, but I will walk with them to that doorway, and I just tell them to go. So the one thing that I will not tolerate, and when I say this to the fullest, I will not tolerate people complaining about the cases that I do in the list. I do not answer to anybody. I will not answer to anybody. There is a missing child out there, and I can only do what I can do. And the fact that she's already come to me, that tells me I need to just take it and do her case. There are some people that complain about the readings, how they're, what about this person and what about this person? The problem with people is they're so in need of help that they feel left out. They feel they want answers. But I am one person, and I will help with who comes to me automatically. I will do what I can for a child's case. That's just the way it is. So in any shape or form complaining about me taking this case and there's waiting, you can understand this, or just don't make any rude comments, because I'm to the point where I will not take any more cases, and I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart to help. And the fact that this little girl is out there somewhere and she's asked for help, I need to help her. Now, the next thing on this video I want to talk about, I was asked on the Dr. Sebi thing again, and what it means to me about his death, and what do I feel, what is my opinion. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. My opinion may not be is the same as others. Everything comes to us in our own way. Everything is meant to us for our own way. Now, you have an opinion, you can state it on here, as long as it's not vulgar, hateful. I'm not doing a Dr. Sebi case. I do have high respect for that man as well. My opinion on that is he was very intelligent. He was very for the cause of health. He was full of wisdom. He tried to help and teach. And how I feel is, because I'm not doing his case, I actually looked him up, and it made me see a deep regard of respect for the man. And I feel that I do feel he was killed for his beliefs and his curing knowledge. It was proven in court. He could do that, as well as when the pharmaceutical companies feel that they can't make money, that's a threat to them. Now, I'm not going to say any names. I'm not going to get into the holier than thou speech. I feel that Dr. Sebi was killed unjustly. That's what I feel. And if you know, see, I didn't know about Dr. Sebi. I actually had to read up on him. And the sad part about it is he's cured 75 people of illnesses. And it's very shameful that you can take a life for healing the sick. I have a deep regard of respect for this man. I'm actually going to be working with his diet plan. I want to test his theory. I want to try it out and see how my body feels. And I'm not saying to take extreme measures, to do anything, any type of dieting on my page. No, I am trying it. I want to see firsthand on how the body changes. And I'm not going into a full-fledged vegan diet. No. Alkaline, the alkaline has been around for a while. Alkaline, I'm going to call it the alkaline diet. So if I stated that wrong, excuse me ahead of time. The word Nipsey came through, so that tells me there's a possible connection there. Now, I said I would do a Nipsey Hussle video ways down the road. I think that Dr. Sebi was murdered for his knowledge, but in a way that do I mean for hire? I don't know. I I don't know. I do feel he was killed for his beliefs, his actual knowledge, but I also feel that they purposely, in some way, I believe, I guess you want to call it, he was a very strong-willed minded person, and he would rather die instead of ingesting things that weren't healthy for his body, and he knew it. So I think that's part of his passing. When somebody asked me on Nipsey Hussle, when I found that the doctor and him were supposed to have a meeting on my page, somebody had stated that gave me pause. I didn't really want to place something like that on here. And I feel there is a connection there somewhere. So I hope I'm not rambling on to you guys. I think there is a connection. I think Dr. Sebi was killed in a manner that they knew he wouldn't ingest the food that they provided. So that was his form of dying, I suppose you could say. I guess he was arrested for having a certain amount of money on him, and then and there was his fate, I believe. But I just wanted to get this video done today and show my respect to him, and that he is knowledgeable here. He is a very in my eyes, he was a healer. He was something that doesn't come along too often, and pharmaceutical companies don't like that. So if he was killed in a way where he was executed, it would have just been too obvious. So I think the way he passed was their version of killing him, so to speak. I just think that he was murdered for the wrong reasons, and he could have healed so many people, and they took that away from the more or less the human race, because there's so many people out there that need help, that need healing, and he could have done it. Back to Alicia. I am going to be doing her session this week. I'm hoping that Miss, I call her Malia for some reason, but her name is Malie. I heard Malia Davis, so maybe that's just, I don't know, maybe just the letter is off, but I think that little angel, I hear a male say torture. Now that could just be torture for what he's done, or just it could mean anything. I want to work with her energy this week. I'm hoping that she'll give me a definitive answer in the way that she knows how. And hopefully I can get something that will help me figure out where this person who killed her, where her body is. There's a female here that's saying Nipsey Hussle's full name. I don't know who she is, but I'm not too sure. When I'm doing this, I like to listen. So I'm thinking that has to do with Dr. Sebi again. I think there is a connection there, some way, somehow. I believe it's just common sense. It's just the way it's portrayed in the media. It's made to look like he was murdered by a gang member, or just so happens to be the luck, I suppose you would call it. But I don't believe in that type of thing. I think all things are meant for a reason, and I think those two had a plan to help a lot of people, and that was not wanted in any way, shape, or form. So I'm going to be working, like I said, with Relisha, and I heard Dr. Sebi. That's probably like a representation, because I'm going to be working with his diet plan. I want to try it. I want to. Food does cure the body. It's a healer. If we all took it in and we followed a regimen, it's a true fact that foods are healers, herbs are healing, and we're just so used to having. Think about the cause and everything. There's always a cause and effect. Think about reality in society. You have potholes everywhere in cities. How do you think the garages stay open? If the potholes are left, the garages can stay open and they can continue to pay taxes to the city. You have vegetables and you have fruits and you have healthy foods, which are sky high expensive. But a cheeseburger is $1 at McDonald's. You have soda. You have soda. You have candy. Everything is so easily disposed of. Is easy at our dispose. And when healthy things are sky high prices, and you have a working parent that could be single or just everyday life, if the healthy things are so expensive, and you have the processed crap so accessibly cheap, what are people going to buy if they can afford it? They're going to buy the processed unhealthy stuff. And that's what keeps doctors in business, is the unhealthy food so cheap. Medication. They know marijuana can heal seizures in children. They know it helps with dementia. They know it helps in Parkinson's diseases. It helps with so many different things. But in some places, it's not legal. A lot of places are legalizing it, but it's illegal in a different aspect. It's just the way society is they want more or less to be under a strict system, and that's how they want it. And will some organizations go and do things really bad? Yes, they will, in order to keep society in a form of the way they want it to be led. That's how I feel. There's knowing in medical marijuana. There are children out there that are dying from, any type of illness, cancer. And there are some parents that travel across state lines to get oils for their children for seizures, and bring it back, knowing how dangerously it can be them for jail, and they still do it to save their children. They know it's helping and saving children, but they do not legalize it in some places. And the outlook of this video is always look with an open mind. Always. I'm not trying to say be a conspiracy theorist. I'm saying look around you, pay attention. Not everything is as it seems. As I'm hearing, like a disguise. Pay attention to the disguise. Always look past the disguise of things. So I just wanted to voice that opinion today and talk about Miss Little Sassy Pants Angel there. Excuse me if I give my spirits that come to talk to me nicknames. I identify them. I identify with them as such. I feel that in life they had a certain way about them. And I believe Miss Malie, she was vibrant and full of life, and it was quickly stolen from her. And when I do her session, I have quite a few questions for her. And will the police listen to me? I don't know, but it's worth a try, and I will call them when I'm done with my session. Will they take me seriously? Most likely not. Texas, I believe that's where she is from. Texas is a very I really don't want to say this on my video. I believe belief systems that I have and that what I am are not taken into consideration whatsoever. We are completely and utterly psychics, mediums. We are not in any way, shape, or form respected in Texas. We are not listened to. I'm going to try, once I do the spirit session, I'm going to try and call, and hopefully I can get someone to listen to me, and maybe they can use it and look. Different states, different police, they listen to psychics and mediums. When they really have nowhere else to turn, they will. But Texas is a bit different. But I am going to try for Malie. I'm going to do my best for her. It just really, really hard to look at the situation of it. I'm hearing the word burn too, so I don't know. That doesn't mean it has to do with Malie. So I'm going to stop this video. I wanted to get that and voice that to everybody. I hope I didn't talk your ear off, ramble on. I needed to voice when I get questions asked about certain things. I do my best to answer all questions, from my heart. And on the discussion of Dr. Sebi, I really do respect him, and I really do believe he had cures. And he knew exactly what to implement. I think he was a very gifted person. He was a very good person. And there it is again. Okay. So I'm definitely feeling that those two were in connection in some way. But those are the cases that I'll be working on. Like I said, I don't need to do Christy Loves. I've already done her reading on my private Facebook page. So the few that I'm going to be working on are the two little angels and Miss Kanika. So those are my outlooks for this week. I'm going to try to do all three this week so I can have them just done, depending on how my energy and how low it gets. I don't know what this word means. It was just said. Now, I could be hearing it. Now, I don't know what other variation you could make it. Maybe you guys can have it. I heard the word caster. Caster. It could be Lancaster. It could be caster of, I don't know. I don't know what that means, but I figured I would tell you what I heard. So thank you, everybody. I will be back for Miss Relisha and Miss Mali, also Kanika. I've got to do those. And I just wanted to thank everybody for being patient and knowing that this takes time. So I will see everybody this week at some point, okay? Thank you for watching.